Hey guys, I thought I'd just jump on to talk about perhaps the most unusual and surprising carnivore benefit that many of us experience, and that is not burning in the sun. So I think a lot of us have experienced this, and many of us have alluded to the fact that it has everything to do with the omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid ratio. When you eat plants, it increases photosensitivity, which is true for sure, right? Many of us have done the experiments, there's no question, but it's like, well, why is that? Now, I've just stumbled across an article which I will link below. It's quite interesting in terms of understanding why this is. Okay, so in our skin, we've got these molecules, these signaling molecules that kind of have to do with an inflammatory response on the skin, and they're called eicosanoids. And they're heavily influenced by types of fatty acids that we consume. Well, eicosapentaenoic acid probably has to do with that by the name. But essentially, the ratios that we consume in terms of the fatty acids have everything to do with the composition of the ratios of fatty acids in our skin. And it seems that the higher the omega-3 to 6, the better. If you think about these severely burned patients, in hospitals where they were typically feeding them between 30 and 40 eggs, on average about 35 eggs per day. Eggs are very high in omega-3 fatty acids, and they're also, full of all the micronutrients. They're very easily assimilated, and then these severely burnt patients can undergo a faster, more rapid recovery. I think even overnight, the protocol was that they would have these nasal tubes where they would feed them while they were sleeping 10 raw eggs with milk, and for some reason they added sugar to this as well. But it's just quite interesting, and you think, well, obviously there's the anabolic rapid healing side of things and the cholesterol, right, and all this kind of stuff, but there's also the omega-3 fatty acids. It's now rebuilding the composition of the skin. We're replacing it with more omega-3 fatty acids. This is my thinking, right? I mean, the moment we take seed oils out, at least, I think we notice a massive benefit. But I think to go even further, when we take out the plants and we don't have these really high levels of linoleic acid, we do a lot better out there with UV-induced photo damage. And I haven't experienced any. I obviously live in Kent, in England. It's quite bleak a lot of the time, even right now. It's pretty cloudy. But we still do have a lot of sunshine, and I work outside as a window cleaner, and I haven't burnt once in any way, shape or form in the 2 years of being carnivore. Our ancestors, we ate an abundance of omega-3 fatty acids and not so much omega-6. We ate a lot of seafood, we ate a lot of fats on meat and things like that, pastured eggs and stuff like this. Now, only recently, like for the last century, have we been consuming things like seed oils. And it seems that everybody needs to go out, into the summer and put sun cream on and cover up their eyes with sunglasses and all this kind of stuff. But all these carnivores, we go out, we don't put sun cream on, and we're absolutely fine, And like I've said before, when I've sort of tinged a little bit, you get a little bit of a blush, you go home, you wake up the next day, it's gone. I didn't feel any itchiness or irritation. It does sound a little bit preposterous, but it's absolutely true. And I think, many of us can attest to this particular benefit. It's worth mentioning, polyunsaturated fats in pork is a little bit different. First of all, it's not as inflammatory. I know it's going to sound biased, but we're not talking about unstable molecules like oil in a bottle hitting a pan, with high heat. No, we're talking about pork that's a very stable fat. And actually, I consume pork. I don't really seem to have any issues in the beginning. I think my issues were where I was rendering the fats down. It was very like liquid hot fat. And then I was eating quite a lot in one go. And then, whoa, it just felt overwhelming. A few hours later, you start to regret, oh wow, I think I ate a bit too much fat. But I don't think it was too much fat. I think it was the fact that it was rendered. But I mean, I eat pork probably once a week, once every other week, something like that. And I don't really seem to have any issues. I still don't burn in the sun. I mean, let us know in the comments if you've experienced the same. Please like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.